Hey, welcome. This is a random sharing. I wanted to come on because I've been reflecting on the significance of healing our, quote, God wound. And this is a huge influence for me because I listen to the beautiful channeler Chiron, and I will never forget him saying that the religion, the indoctrination of thinking that God is outside of us, that he's untouchable, that we're not worthy of her presence, is something that I look back at my childhood and that had such an influence over me. And I often share here on my channel about stepping out of the box of religion and having that expanded knowingness of what God creator is, but I'm never saying that in a bad way or shaming religion itself. It's always a human thing where there's indoctrination or hypocrisy or judgment. So anyway, one of the sharings of Chiron, I will never forget it, was that we have a built-in innate wanting to be a seeker. And so I was just really reflecting on that today, going, it's so true, because I remember being a little girl and having this strong love of Yeshua, the Christ, the Messiah, the healer. And I remember being taken to church, which I'm thankful for, and just being really confused by what some people's actions were. And so how that's coming into play right now is we are being asked by Source to heal that wound of the God wound. To really, it's an illusion anyway. It's us thinking we're separate. And how this is coming into play for the evolution of humans is because Chiron, the asteroid known to be the wounded healer, went into the sign of Aries, which is the I am. It's the body. It's where our spirits take body. It's representative of the first house. Chiron went into Aries February 18th of 2019, and it's staying in the sign of self. It's staying in the sign of I am. It's staying in the sign of where we take our body until April 14th of 2027. So I'm like, wow, that's profound. There's no coincidence to as above, so below. It's a time on our evolution, our spiraling of this continual letting go and rising higher, of wanting to get true with you, wanting to heal all the layers of, whether it be indoctrination from school where you're taught to be all thinking the same and all supposed to learn the same, of letting go of that, especially in this Aquarian energy where it is about being unique. It's about the black sheeps of the families rising from the wounds of suppression, oppression, indoctrination, all these labels and restrictions put on ourselves through whether it be family or religion or schooling, and really dropping the judgment of all of that and just coming into our full realization of who we are. And a part of that is healing the God wound. We're to walk by faith, not by sight. And I feel like as a collective, that is the issue with many on the collective, is that because of their wound, because of them not doing their own inner work, for them to be the seeker of something outside of them, whether it be a teacher or a priest or a family member, It's coming back to you. It's coming back to within you, to healing that. And healing specifically taking you all the way back to the God wound, so to speak. Because there's a great power in us understanding the consciousness, the creator consciousness, the all that is, the great spirit. And there's many, I used to be this way. I was reflecting on how much healing I've done of being a seeker, and how religion, but it wasn't really even the religion itself. It was just different individuals in that particular religion that were hypocrisy, were judgmental, who, would stare down their nose at you. And as an empath, when people are saying one thing and doing another thing, it's like, wow, so confusing as a little child, right? So it's about healing that wound, Chiron. The glyph for that is like a key. It's a K. And I feel that's the key to us healing. And there's no coincidence, that it's in the sign of Aries, the I am, where we take on the body, the first house, where we take on the body when we're incarnated back on this earth plane, of getting in tune with yourself. When you have this realization, well, I am a seeker. That's a God innate thing that comes within all of us. We all are seekers. But it's when we stop looking outside of ourselves for validation, for the healing. Although there's a power in numbers coming together, but if the people, they have to be in integrity and know and believe within themselves as well. It is our life force energy. Again, that fire energy, that initial spark of when we come in this earth plane as creation itself. And it's our initial life force energy, right? So healing that I am presence within you. And part of that is of healing the wound that we've been thinking, whether it be, like I said, through a religion. I used to be one of those people that wouldn't even say the word God. I pussyfooted around it because the religion, not the religion, the hypocrisy in the religion confused me. And so now I'm just reflecting today how important it is for us to heal that. And the Chiron in Aries from 2019 all the way through 2027 is playing a key role for all of us to drop the barriers, to drop the wounds, so to speak, of being on this earthly plane and the accumulation of snuffing our inner child, because that's what it goes back to, is giving and nurturing our inner child all of the things that we may have not received when we were young. And that is powerful, and that's transformative. And healing that God wound is exactly how one person at a time in that realization will heal this world. Humans that are of the flesh and of the two eyes and are materialistic and that are greedy, lustful, they keep us distracted with many things, and we don't even know it when we're born into it. But I believe we're in a cycle now where we're being asked to heal that so we can go forward in this Aquarian energy into a beautiful creation instead of what humans are wanting to create, right? With the duality and the separation and the age-old tactic of separating, conquering, dividing. I don't know, that's profound for me, because having an intimacy with the Creator is more important than anything. Because when we are committed to having that relationship with the God source, the Creator, wow, you just have a realization of how powerful we are, how many things that you can heal within yourself and transform and get into that energy of where you have a life force energy that's vital, where your solar plexus is growing, where you're embracing all of the things that come up to the surface for you to let go of, to feel into it, to feel it, to feel into it, to heal it. And I know for sure that the biggest thing in the misconception for me and really anybody is getting to that root issue of healing the God wound, so to speak, because once we connect every day and once we have that faith within us, and it's just so freaking powerful and magical. That's another thing that keeps coming up too as well. You know, a lot of religions have demonized magic. Magic isn't to be demonized. We are magic. Think of God, creator, source, sparking off, wanting to have this experience as humans. Again, we have free will, and that's where it comes into a time when it's time to stop blaming a devil person or thinking God's gonna come and save us when we were created in his, her image and said that we will do all things and more, right? So stop. It's about holding ourselves accountable for what we're co-creating so that we can experience the things that we should have actually came here to experience instead of all of the lower density. You're right, I'm wrong. Comparison. I do not do well with comparison. I'm so much in, is this true for you? I know what's true for me. And that's another thing too, with the intimacy that we can have with the Creator. No two people on the earth will have the same experiences. Although you can come together in the power of numbers, and there is power in that. If that person and the next person next to you is all in their integrity and they have a belief, it's about a belief. Yeshua didn't heal anybody without the person receiving the healing, having a knowingness and a belief that it is possible. And that is magic to me. I just finished binge watching The Chosen again for probably the 5th time because I do love Yeshua so much. And I see his beauty and his emanation of compassion and the healer that he was and is to this day. And kind of in a no-nonsense way, too, drawing a line in the sand, so to speak, using it as a metaphor of healthy boundaries. Because somebody next to you may not be in the same frequency and the knowingness that we're all connected and that we're all co-creators at this time. And so if somebody's gaslighting you or they have narcissistic traits because they identify with the ego more than they do their heart and the righteousness that's within them, then you have to have healthy boundaries. That's another thing coming up with the Chiron and Aries energy that again will be there all the way through 2027. It will not move into the sign of Taurus until April 14th. Is self-love. We've been taught by society to put everybody else first. And it's a time for really you to love yourself, to fill your own cup from the overflow of the God consciousness, to receive it, receptive feminine energy, to receive that connection, that intimacy, nurturing yourself, self-care, allowing whatever wounds, so to speak, rises up within you to be transmuted back into pure love and pure essence of what we are. So I just wanted to share that today because I'm cooking, it's really super cold out here. I'm making a big warm pot of chili, and the comfort I'm finding in that and going, you know what, the epiphanies that I'm having really go back to that original thinking that I separated from God because of all the conditions of humans here and religion. So when I bring up religion on my channel, it's not the religion itself, because those two people too are still either listening to their innate seeker within them that's built into us, like Chiron said. They just haven't had the realization that it's from within them, that they will receive the healing, where they will receive the messages, where they will receive the love, the validation through signs and synchronicities. And that's profound, and I just wanted to share that. So think about it within yourself. If you can't say the word God or even Yeshua, why are you triggered by saying that word? You know, many different languages throughout time and even now, whether it be Allah, whether it be, you know, Yeshua, whatever, different languages portray it. But if those people too are seeking, good for them. Good for them. And a lot of times our languages are barriers. And so it's time to drop and shed those too. And I would love to share a Chiron message today as well. So just a thought, food for thought. Are you triggered by the word God? And if so, why? And if so, how can you heal that and see it more clearly? We're purging and letting go of so many things and so many layers. And that assistance as above, so below is here at this time for us to heal our I am, to heal our inner wounds so we can heal our bodies, to know that we're more than the body. Release, let go, let God take all your cares and burdens. I've been reflecting as well on how much different groups of people have altered, manipulated the Bible, left things out, twisted things around to fit the narrative of those that weren't in integrity. And so I want to know where the missing books are. I want to know where the missing things are with Yeshua ascending. And one of the ways for me to get intimate is watching The Chosen and seeing that beautiful series being portrayed of what Yeshua was like in the flesh when he was here to share about love and being a healer. And we all have that within us. And that's where this Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries of self, is asking us to go inner, seek first the kingdom, which is right within you, and be guided by that. And we will see a different world. We can't take God out of it because God created us. God is creation itself. And so I think it's really cool. I call upon the divine. I call upon my spirit team. Call upon the Messiah and my son in spirit to guide me with which message to share today, to go along with this healing of self, healing of past lives, this lifetime, shedding and ending karmic patterns, ascending out of the issues, the wounds, releasing, letting go. Just love it. So many epiphanies coming through. Being in each present moment. We are definitely in this. Love it. We are in a recalibration of self. We're shedding lifetimes, like I said, of karmic patterns, souls that have incarnated by choice, right, to play out different roles. What scientists say is junk DNA, there is no such thing. It's spiritual DNA. It's our spiritual connection to source. We're shedding, we're morphing. These, quote, dormant DNA are coming online. We're putting off pings to the universe. The universe is responding. We're getting different light codes that are being integrated. Our bodies are changing. That's why it's so important for self-care and self-nurturing. The recalibration of self begins with the understanding that darkness has no power over you anymore. It will retreat from you instead of attacking you. If you fear anything, darkness has won. That's the balance we speak of. Perhaps after reading the quote above from Chiron, you are saying this card isn't for me. Darkness has no power in my life. I'm good. I'm balanced as a person. What most don't realize is that we actually promote fear in our lives all the time. It's a habit of our culture. It is in so many things that we don't realize we're doing it. It's most prevalent in what we expect and what we say when we are disappointed. It's in the words we speak to ourselves. Fear wins every time that you expect the worst, or when you feel that you were a victim of circumstances. Do you realize that you are embracing fear when you use the expressions, "I knew that would happen"? When you're disappointed, or "what again"? When a repeated disappointment takes place, basically fear won out in both of those cases. Think about it. It's a habit from an old energy of the past. What comes out of your mouth on a regular basis? Ask yourself that. Is it what you heard your parents say? Many times it is. Not me anymore, baby. No, baby. Release that. Let it go. I've changed. A lineage holder. Black sheeps you usually are. You're the way showers. Do your duty. The new paradigm for the light worker is in a very name, light worker. It's time to recalibrate yourself and what you expect in life. Because the light-dark balance around you is changing. Is it? It's 2021. Is it not changing? There's many of us on the way that are rising above what's happening in the third density and envisioning and anchoring the light. Being in this world, but not of it. That's huge with this Aquarian energy. Wow. Excuse me. When there's uncertainty, do you affirm that you are expecting the best? When you are stressing over an upcoming situation, do you practice seeing a benevolent outcome? When you are stressing over an upcoming situation, do you practice seeing a benevolent outcome? Recalibration of self is full awareness of the fact that we are different today due to planetary shifts and changes. The words we say can actually create light where there used to be darkness. It can set a stage for benevolent things, and fear won't have a chance. Best of all, your children will hear it and will start the beginning of what they will say and their children will say. That will help recalibrate the light and the dark for generations to come. That is the job, the duty, what our souls came to do as light workers. That's profound in my life. And as we are going through this recalibration, be gentle with yourself. Connect every single day. Prayer is powerful in the mode of believing, receiving the miracles, the answers, the guidance. And it may not be the answers we wish to think that we're going to receive, but trust the divine, trust what comes through to you. It's definitely not an easy duty as a wayshorer, but once you come into that realization, then layers of letting go, stepping into your true heart, who you are, releasing and letting go of all of the layers that may have been accumulated through this life or lifetimes. It's powerful. And as we're going through this recalibration, be gentle with yourself, but you have to connect every day. And one way for me, and I'll share here, is mindfulness and meditation and breath work. Well, it's just a little bit of light shining through the blinds. Thank you, Jesus, for the sun today. I've needed it, even though it's very bitter cold here. So think about what I planted here today. Do you hold an energy of being triggered by God, the word God? And again, as you're going through this recalibration, understand with this I am affirmation that I am blessed. I am a miracle myself. I am a spark of creation. That Creator is in you, around you. It's benevolent. Connect with it. Allow this recalibration. Be the one in the world where you are allowing these transformations to happen and recalibrate yourself to where when you hear somebody say that the world is getting gnarly and worse, be the one that says, no, it's being revealed. We're in Revelations. The light is shined upon the darkness. Remember that you are blessed. Would love to know in the comments if you are triggered by just the word of God. If you hesitate or dance around saying God. It's interesting. I used to be. I let it go. Send this to you. So much love. Shalom.